The Raptors were reeling after their disappointing result in Game 3 of their first-round series with the Knicks. Vince Carter was chided by teammate Charles Oakley for deflecting criticism of himself to the team as a whole. Oakley publicly challenged Carter to act like a superstar. And superstars don't shoot 5 for 21 in home playoff games. Carter would unite his teammates by convincing most of them, Oakley included, to wear headbands for Game 4. He would then lead by example, scoring 32 points as the Raptors won their first home playoff game and extended New York to the maximum 5 games.
And we'll see how they respond tonight. Dick Bavetta, Don Vaden, and Mike Callahan are the officials, and the opening tip controlled by the Raptors.
Toronto, now the coaching staff, just wants them to cut down on the early turnovers in this first quarter and just make some shots.
They committed 6 turnovers in the first quarter of the last game. 8 on the shot clock. Chris Childs leaves it out. Charles Oakley inside the three-point line misses the first shot.
We know that the Knicks are not looking to fast break. It's a semi-break, especially early in the game. They're very meticulous in their half-court offense. The majority of the screens and the clear-outs will come on the left side of the floor.
Here is Latrell Sprewell guarded by Vince Carter, who knocks the ball away. Here is Alvin Williams. Houston gets turned around, and Williams gives the Raptors the lead.
Anytime you're out in the open court, always either crossover or do a reverse dribble, because that makes the defensive man turn his position. Beautiful move by Alvin Williams.
So Sprewell knocked away by Carter, and Carter aggressive defensively in this opening sequence.
Well, Carter has done everything else, Dick, like in Game 3. He comes in, he gets to the line 11 times. He has 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 3 steals. So he's working hard. It's just the ball is not going in the basket.
7 on the shot clock, and Mark Jackson ties it up. Jackson, who's having a terrific series. Former Toronto Raptor, as you remember, traded for Chris Childs in February, tying the score. Here's Alvin Williams, guarded by Mark Jackson. Posting up is Antonio Davis against Thomas.
Clear out.
8 on the shot clock. And here is Davis. And Davis with a terrific move. And what a series he's having with 3 double-doubles in 3 games.
Oh, you have to love it. Yeah, he was the starting center for the East in the All-Star game. Had an excellent career year. And he's topping everything with 18 points a game and 13 rebounds in the playoffs.
He has been the guy to keep the Raptors in this series. 5 on the shot clock. Jackson into the corner. Sprewell pulls back and hits the shot at the buzzer to tie the game at 4.
Whenever Houston and Sprewell have big scoring nights and they can include any third guy, the Knicks are tough to beat because of their defense.
And ball swatted away as Camby coming around to pick up Vince Carter. Sprewell getting credit for the block. There are 13 seconds on the shot clock.
Now Sprewell expending a ton of energy guarding Vince Carter.
Carter driving to the hoop. And to answer those who feel that Carter is not trying to penetrate, as you just mentioned, he went to the line 11 times last game.
Yeah, throughout this series, he's getting to the line quite a bit, more so than the regular season. I like this timeout. But Jackson and Ward are doing a terrific job. Between them in Game 3, 18 points, 8 rebounds. And that is something which you do not see with the Knicks point guards.
Sprewell blanketed by Carter. Camby driving to the basket, and it's blocked out of bounds by Antonio Davis, but a foul is called against Charles Oakley. So Davis got the ball, but Oakley got Camby with the body.
You're not going to see the double teaming of Camby. We know that the majority of his points come because of his athletic quickness getting to the offensive rebounding. When the opposition double team the Knicks, he'll beat his man and he's on the glass.
There you see, with 44 minutes in Game 1, coming back from the injured hip, had 18 rebounds, and then when he was out of it in Game 2, had 2 points, and then Jeff Van Gundy says, don't come back until you feel you can play effectively, and here he is in Game 4.
Well, he erases a ton of mistakes by people at the defensive end of the floor.
One free throw by Camby, and it's 6-5 in favor of Toronto, with nearly 3 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. Williams is open, coming around the screen, and cannot hit the shot.
Yeah, they took the trap on that screen and roll, ran a back screen on the opposite side of the floor. A well-designed play.
And they're going to call this against the offense, and Marcus Camby with the elbow called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, good call, solid call. Anytime that you take that in the painted area above the restraining dotted line, you know you're going to get the call.
And you know that Jeff Van Gundy watching Camby very closely in his return. Here is Carter. Sprewell blankets him, and here is Alvin Williams driving in, leaves it for Oakley.
Plenty of time.
Childs, good ball movement, and here is Davis from the outside, and the 3-second violation called against the Raptors turns it over to the Knicks.
Well, that time Toronto, trying to be unselfish, trying to look for the high percentage shot, made 2 extra passes. They had many open shots that time, but you'd rather see them do that than throw the basketball away.
Game 5, if there is one, will be Friday night at Madison Square Garden in New York. Kurt Thomas. And here is Alvin Williams. The Raptors lead by 1 with under 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And here is Davis, who gets by his hand, and Camby gets the block. Marcus Camby scraped the ball away from Antonio Davis, and now with the open jumper, goes over the top to Toronto.
We are seeing some erasers in action here early tonight. Antonio Davis and Marcus Camby are both being seen, and they're making their blocks coming from the opposite side of the lane.
Childs moved into the starting lineup after game number 1, and Carter has the pass knocked away by Sprewell, so the Raptors with plenty of time on the shot clock.
That was a perfect pass. Hit him right when he was open in the painted area. He just fumbled that ball, and they were fortunate that it went off Sprewell.
Carter over Sprewell, and the long rebound to Sprewell. The Knicks looking for their first lead of the game. Sprewell runs Carter into a pick and hits the shot, and the Knicks take a 7-6 lead.
I like that because that was a transition move, and Sprewell yelled over to Thomas to come and give him that screen.
Knicks want to take the crowd out of this game, as they did effectively in the first quarter of game number 3. And here is Oakley giving it back into Carter, who puts it through. So Vince Carter with a couple of spectacular jams, and the Raptors regain the lead.
Yeah, if I'm Jeff Van Gundy, I'm a little upset right now because they are making the extra pass, and it's getting into the paint, Dick, where nothing but bad is going to happen. High percentage shot.
Knicks have had the big edge in points in the paint. Traveling is called against Sprewell. The Knicks have had a huge edge, but right now the Raptors have outscored the Knicks 8-0 on the inside points. Thomas defending against Antonio Davis. The double team comes. Childs, tough pass off the hands of Alvin Williams. And a turnover. And the long pass by Jackson. So the Knicks have turned it over on successive possessions.
Yeah, we just had 2 silly passes. One by Childs, one by Jackson. Stop trying to thread the needle right now. The big thing right now is to get high percentage shots.
Williams with a strong move to the baseline, and it drops. Alvin Williams, who led the Raptors in their 1 win with 23 points and a big effort at the Garden last week.
Well, you like his game. He's shooting a high percentage. He's shooting 50% in threes, and he's doing a terrific job in leading his team.
Camby going strong to the basket, and a foul as Antonio Davis with him all the way, chalking up his first personal.
I thought in game 3 the Knicks did a nice job. They got to the line only 23 times, but they shot over 80. And we know that at the end of the game, the Knicks are very tough because they're prime guys. Sprewell and Houston and Mark Jackson, and then also Thomas, all will shoot over 80%.
And the Knicks are getting the line, as you mentioned, more than they did in the regular season. They were near the bottom, as we welcome those watching in Canada on TSN. here at the Air Canada Center last night. A heartbreaking loss for the Maple Leafs in overtime to the New Jersey Devils, and they're hoping that the Raptors can erase that disappointment with a win tonight. So Camby with one free throw, and the Raptors leading by 2, and Chris Childs gives Toronto a 4-point lead.
One thing about Childs, he will not pass up the open shot. He's very nervy. He's a feisty player, an excellent defender, and he can make the 3.
Alvin Williams trying to get to the ball, committing the personal foul. So that is his first foul, and Jackson will inbound. Knicks trying to move on and win this series in 4 games, knowing that the 76ers, their next possible opponent, also with that same opportunity tonight against Indiana, and that'll be on TBS. Sprewell with the runner now has 6 of the Knicks' 10.
Sprewell on that move, that was beautiful. He started towards the screen, and when Vince Carter jumped out to protect against the screen, he just isolated and took a one-on-one.
Here's Oakley from the corner.
Got to hit those. And
Jackson the rebound, quickly out, and Alvin Williams knocked the ball away and fell and holding onto his knee. Latrell Sprewell, who had his top scoring game of the series with 20 points in game number 3 and becoming more and more of an influence within the team for Jeff Van Gundy, a far cry from his problems of several years ago. Sprewell defended by Carter, working his way in, an off-balance shot, ill-advised, and here come the Raptors leading by 2. Childs penetrating, going up, and Childs beating Jackson to the basket.
That's what you need. You got to get the easy baskets whenever you think you can beat a guy in the open floor. Because this game right now, you know it's going to be low scoring. So the fast break and the second shot attempt, key.
Houston, who has yet to score and even take a shot of the game. Sprewell pulls up for the 3 off the rim, and they're going to call the foul. Camby fouling Childs, and Camby picking up his second foul, and Jeff Van Gundy out to talk to Houston. Here's how this play enveloped.
Yeah, you can see here right now, the referee was right on top of the play. They blew the whistle. A lot of people thought he was out of bounds, but the foul was called before he hit the floor.
And Othello Harrington, who started at power forward, Glenn Rice into the game. Is into the game. Here is Carter to Childs. Childs driving in, tries to force the pass, and it's picked off by Kurt Thomas.
That's what happens when you leave your feet and you're not thinking shot first.
Houston, who can think shot all game long, now has his first field goal of the game, and the Knicks now down by 2.
In this series, Houston is shooting 56 from the field, 60 from the line, and he's perfect from the foul line, 12 for 12.
And he's led the Knicks in 2 out of the 3 games. 6 on the shot clock. Davis, Oakley on the other side for the rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds by Allen Houston. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on TBS, Game 4 of the 76ers and the Indiana Pacers. And coming up next on TNT will be Game 4 of the Western Conference between the Kings and the Suns, as playoff action continues throughout the week on TNT Sports and TBS Sports. Oakley out of the game and replaced by Jerome Williams, who gets the ball on the turnover. Knicks have turned it over 5 times in this quarter, and Vince Carter hits a 3. He's got 7 points, and the fans hoping that Carter will have his first breakout game of the postseason.
See, we told you earlier, he shoots it at 41%. He's one of the best we have in the league.
Following the Knick timeout, Jackson will inbound. It's Jackson, Sprewell, Rice, Houston, and Thomas.
If you notice, Jeff Van Gundy used 2 quick timeouts to stop the little runs of Toronto. When you're on the road, you're trying not to let the home team get out away from you.
Morris Peterson coming into the game for the Toronto Raptors, and the Knicks have 12 seconds to try a shot. Peterson started game 1 and 21 games in the regular year, the rookie from Michigan State. And Lenny Wilkins bringing him in early. Here is Glenn Rice off the rim, and the rebound by Carter. Obviously, he is playing inspired to this point. And the Raptors leading by 5. Carter pushing back and hitting. 9 for Vince Carter here in the first.
You like his game tonight. When he elevates, he's going straight up. He's not moving from side to side. He's not making the shot attempt difficult. He's just rising up above Sprewell and shooting the ball.
Both teams at 50% shooting thus far. Jackson inside to Rice, who lays it in. So Glenn Rice complaining about not enough touches and getting plenty of them in game number 3. Coming in early here with Camby in early foul trouble, and obviously not quite himself in his return to action. 5-point lead, and here is Childs. Davis with the extra pass. Here is Peterson. Carter gets the offensive rebound, and a great pass to Peterson. Couldn't handle it, but Jerome Williams gets the shot. A lot of opportunities for Toronto.
Yeah, you like them. They're getting high percentage shots. That's all you want as a coach.
Sprewell fouled before the shot. With 2:15 to go, foul is on Peterson as we get a report from D. Lynam.
Well, Dick, the Toronto Raptors taking a page out of Charlotte's book with the purple headbands, a sign of solidarity. Similar to the Charlotte Hornets, there are a few guys who thought they looked silly, but I will bet that if this turns into a win tonight, we'll see all purple headbands in New York. Dick?
Charlotte set the pace, D. You're right about that. 3 in a row.
Sometimes I wish, D, that what really won the games. Okay.
Well, you coaches don't want to hear that.
No.
Under 2 minutes to go, and a rush shot by Houston. 2-point basket. Allen Houston had to rush the shot, and it clicked, and the Knicks come within 3 points now of the Raptors, who have led practically all the way in this first quarter.
Yeah, he's on fire in this series.
Childs for 3. Comes back. Chris Childs for the 3-point basket.
I told you, he's not bashful. He's now 4 for 10 in threes in this series. He's a feisty guy, and he will accept the challenge.
And he's got something to prove against his former team as well. 10 on the shot clock. 1:20 to go in the quarter. Sprewell and Carter out of the point. Sprewell steps back and hits. Sprewell feeling it here in the first quarter. Now has 8.
Yeah, they're going one-on-one at both ends of the floor, Carter and Sprewell. The thing you cannot miss is when Childs picks up Houston on that same move, and he missed them down in the post, and Allen Houston put his head down. You don't want to see that. When a guy's got a mismatch, get him the ball.
Carter spinning his way in, and it doesn't go. And now Jackson, who's being pressured by Jerome Williams in the backcourt. 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and Allen Houston is 6 points now in the game on 3 for 3 shooting. So Sprewell and Houston getting it done.
So we said he's on fire. Coming in, shooting 56%, and then 60 in threes. The man is on fire, so you have to look for him. He can carry it because he has that great ability to score a ton of points using few shots.
5 on the shot clock. Dwight Davis with a second effort. And the Raptors leading by 4 points. And now playing for the last shot of the first quarter are the New York Knicks. A well-played quarter coming to an end here in game number 4. A Knick win sends them on to the conference semifinals, and the Raptors trying to force a deciding game. And they're going to call the foul on Chris Childs. And in the penalty, so a costly foul by Childs.
Now that's just a bad foul. And it's nothing else but bad. Mainly because you're 28 feet away from the basket. There's no way that you're going to make it happen. You're in the guy's chest. You're isolated. So you are not going to get away with incidental contact.
Allen Houston, who has stepped up in this series, led the Knicks with 24 points in Sunday's game, hitting 9 of 14 from the field, and connects on 2 free throws. It's a 2-point Toronto lead, and Carter gets it over to Jerome Williams, and Williams with the basket. 0.3 of a second to go, and that'll do it. Jeff Van Gundy just wants his team to settle down.
Yeah, well, that was just, what you're doing there is throwing a blind pass, and that's what we said tonight. You're trying to close the team out. Stop trying to make the sensational play. If the guy isn't there, make sure you see he's not there.
Jerome Williams short with it, and Carter still pounding the offensive glass and looking for the foul and wondering why he didn't get it, and now the Knicks throw it away again.
Yeah, see, they're banging. They're really all over that offensive glass tonight.
And here is Alvin Williams way off the mark for the three, and it's knocked out of bounds by Davis, and the Knicks get the ball.
In the previous 3 games, we told you, Toronto winning the battle of the boards by close to 4 a game, but the key is at the offensive end. They're getting over 13 second shot attempts. They're second in the league in that category.
Rice with a turnaround over Carter. Davis the rebound. Toronto definitely dominating off the boards, and Carter is spilled and is shoved down on the floor. And Glenn Rice claiming that it wasn't a foul, but Carter slid about 10 feet.
Yeah, keep an eye on this right here. You're seeing Glenn Rice running down. He puts the forearm in. Now, is that a little acting job? Well, only if you're standing next to him and you can see whether you can hear the pop of that forearm.
It's easy to say acting until you're the guy taking the blow.
That's right.
And you remember Kurt Thomas knocked Carter to the floor in game number 1. That kind of knocked the wind out of Carter's sails, perhaps. Peterson will inbound. It's a 2-point lead for the Raptors early here in the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, D. Lynham here at the Air Canada Center north of the border. Nearly losing the ball was Carter, and he did lose the ball going after the rolling ball step on the line.
This group that's out on the floor for the Knicks right now, they've got to hit a pace. You have Ward out there with Rice and Harrington. This has been a very productive group.
Ward fires up a 3 to no avail.
Yeah, tonight they're out of sync, Dick. The cohesiveness is not there, and they're not getting what you would call really good high percentage looks. Reminiscent
of game 2 at Madison Square Garden. Williams nowhere to go off the baseline. Good defense by Rice. 7 on the shot clock, and there's a 3-point attempt by Peterson off the mark, but there is Carter following up, and he's fouled. The Toronto Raptors are doing a number off the offensive board here in this first half.
During the regular season, Vince Carter only got to the line 6 times a game. Now, for a player of his athletic talent and his quickness to the glass, that's a low number. But you see tonight, he's really hustling. He's doing a great job. Everyone is taking it. When the alley is there tonight, Toronto slicing hard to the rim.
And a great save by Jerome Williams, and Vince Carter clearly upset with missing that free throw. That Knick foul was on Kurt Thomas. So Vince Carter already has scored more in the first quarter tonight than he did in the previous games. And the Raptors by 3. Peterson defending Ward. And Harrington guarded by the athletic Jerome Williams, who knocks it out of bounds.
Hey, Jerome Williams, very athletic, 6'9", long arms. He can harass a post-up guy. He will not stay behind him. He's going to try and play him topside or front him and deny the initial pass.
The junkyard dog doing it here off the bench in the first half. Here is Charlie Ward penetrating into the paint, and Ward on the scoreboard. Want to remind you that in 15 minutes, Game 4 between the 76ers and the Pacers on TBS tonight, as Indiana tries to stay alive as the 8th seed. Plenty of time on the shot clock, and there is Williams, and he gets fouled. An off-balance attempt by Williams, but it got the job done, and he got Kurt Thomas picking up his second foul. So Camby, who came out early, and now Thomas with 2 fouls.
Jerome Williams is not in there to score. Anything that he gives you at the offensive end of the floor is a bonus. He's in there because of his defense, his rebounding, his hustle plays, getting out on the break and making things happen.
Those are Williams' numbers against the Knicks. On the line is 2 for 4 in the first 3 games, and misses the first free throw. One out of 2 for Jerome Williams. Toronto by a pair.
Main thing tonight, take care of the defensive boards, make your foul shots, try to keep the turnovers 12 or down, because there are not going to be a ton of shots in this game at either end.
Knicks looking for their first basket of the second quarter. And here is Ward for three. They still come up empty. They're 0 for 7. And Harrington with the offensive rebound. So 0 for 8 from the field are the New York Knicks, and a foul is called. So Camby, who has 2 fouls, is in the lineup defensively, along with Othello Harrington, Allen Houston, Glenn Rice, and Charlie Ward. Giles and Williams with Davis, Carter, and Jerome Williams for the Raptors. Here is Antonio Davis with the one-hander, and it drops.
Well, that was just a lucky bounce. That ball had absolutely no touch. It went up. He tried to shove it up between 3 guys. But fortunately, the ball bounced correctly for them.
There's a little luck, too, in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Rice backing in against Childs has the advantage. Ward again trying for the long-range shot. And the good hustle and going the other way. So Othello Harrington trying to save it for the Knicks and cannot. But Charlie Ward is struggling. He is 0 for 3 from three-point territory. Raptors with the ball and the 4-point lead.
This is a phase of the game that Charlie Ward has really improved on. And during the year, he shot at 38%.
Davis driving in, and they're going to call the foul against Antonio Davis, so he joins the 2 personal foul club along with Thomas and Camby of the Knicks.
Yeah, well, see, they've been going at Camby here right now to try to pick up the third, but you can see he had excellent position that time, and that's when you're limited. You know, do you have the fadeaway game? Do you have a baby jump hook game? Because that sometimes will get you up over the top of that shot blocker and make your life easier.
Charles Oakley replaces him in the lineup. Here is Ward, who has struggled from the perimeter. Childs defending him. And a long pass to Rice, missing the 3. And the rebound taken down by Childs. So the Knicks not hitting the threes.
Nah, and I don't understand it. Why they're going for the 3 with so much time left on the clock. In the early going, they were getting the ball down inside. And then they were attacking the rim, and good things were happening for them.
Here's Alvin Williams, short. And the rebound knocked away into Carter. And they'll call no basket and a foul against the Raptors, and it'll be on Vince Carter picking up his first personal.
You never get upset with your guys when they're in banging at the offensive end of the floor. You'll take those ticky-tack fouls. It comes down to the questionable angle that the referee is at, but when your guys are working that hard, you can live with that.
The only Knick lead was at 7-6 early in the game, and Glenn Rice hitting the 3 for the Knicks, their first of the game, and they now trail by only 1.
Glenn Rice has been hobbled with that stress fracture in the foot, and we know that he has not been able to practice and go 100% over the last couple of months.
Good Childs called for the offensive foul, knocking Rice back. So the Raptors getting themselves in trouble, and Childs with his second personal foul, and the Knicks can now take the lead again.
Now that was either a great flop or Rice was totally off balance when Childs gives him the stiff arm.
You had to be there to know it, though. Here is Sprewell back in the game. He has scored 8 points, tied with Houston for the lead. A bad pass, and Carter goes in and scores the easy basket. Maybe a nice steal, could be a lethargic pass, but whatever it is, the third dunk of the game for Vince Carter.
Big thing right now is they're anticipating, they're playing the passing angles, they're doing a better job. The defense is getting stronger as we're moving through this game.
And a block, and taken down by the Raptors. So Glenn Rice going up with the shot, and Childs coming back, missing the 3. And the shoe is lost by Rice. He's got to put the other shoe on. We're seeing the other shoe drop so far in this first half. Screen and roll. Harrington, no basket. And the offensive foul this time against the Knicks. 10 points for Sprewell.
If you notice, every time that Carter scores, that Sprewell is looking to attempt to take him out of the offense or out of the transition game.
So Sprewell 10, Carter 14. They're matched up against each other. Right now Spree is on Carter with 10 on the shot clock. 5 minutes to go in the second. And Jerome Williams against Travels as he tried to back in to Marcus Camby.
You have to have a game if you're going to shoot up over the top of the shot blocker. And Williams right there got caught up. The main thing is he should have just... And if you don't have a game with the back to the basket, on the catch, turn and face the guy. Because now he's got to make a decision. If he's going to jam you, if not, he steps back. At least you'll get a decent bank shot potentially for yourself.
Sprewell with Williams with him. Sprewell stepping back for 2, and it rims the basket. And the Raptors up by 3, so it has been a tight game. Biggest lead for Toronto was 7 points in the first quarter. The Knicks leading only once, that at 7-6. Here is Carter off the front rim. So the Knicks trailing by 3 points. They have hit 1 3-point basket, that by Glenn Rice. And Rice with the ball now, defended by Carter, and hits. Smooth jumper by Glenn Rice, and it's a 1-point game.
When he's on the floor, you have to take advantage of his minutes, because when you come with your regular unit, he's not going to get that many minutes when you have that 8-man rotation now that Camby is back. So make him available in as many catches as possible.
How about that spin layup, reverse style by Vince Carter, and the foul. Vince Carter with his mom cheering from the first round, and Michelle's got to love what her son has done so far in this first half. The foul is on Sprewell, and Carter will go to the line looking for his 17th point.
Well, he's giving you the entire show here in this first half. The repertoire of moves. And the thing that I like the most, Dick, is he's not standing around in any one area. You're getting it from all sides of the floor, and they have him in constant motion. When you have a great player, you can't be running double teams. You're out of position, and it's not always the same rotation.
3:40 to go in the second quarter. Sixers and Pacers getting set to tip it up. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and D. Lynam here in Game 4. The Raptors trying to stay alive and leading in the game by 4 points. They'll have a jump ball, and in a game in which Marcus Camby returning to the Knicks.
Now, you and I have done over 30 games this year. We have never seen 2 guys lose a shoe in the first half on the same team.
It's true. No asterisk there.
No.
And a kick block by Ward, who kept his shoes on when he kicked that ball out of bounds. Mark Jackson re-enters the game, replacing Charlie Ward. Ward 1 for 4 from the field. Kurt Thomas and Camby both with 2 personal fouls in the game right now. And here is Childs for 3. Chris Childs with his second from beyond the line, and he has 10 points. 7-point lead for the Raptors, matches their biggest of the game as the Knicks want to talk it over. Sprewell with 10, Houston with 8 lead the Knicks. And Glenn Rice off the bench with 7. He's not in there right now. And Houston hitting. So Houston coming alive in the playoffs after a so-so finish to his regular season.
Yeah, well, during the year, he only averaged right at 19. But at playoff time, it's just nice to watch because he's at the top of his game. One of the great shooters that we have from all areas. Field goal, threes, and also on the line.
And Davis is tripped and still on the floor. It'll be a 2-shot foul, but of more concern to the Raptors is Antonio Davis, who fell hard.
Yeah, he got taken down, and you know, that was a quick hit to the floor. See, he makes a very nice way. That could have been called a travel because the ball was definitely not out of his hand before he picked up and on the grab on the pants by Thomas. That's what gave him that jerky move right to the floor.
But the foul was called against Houston, and trying to walk it off is Antonio Davis. He is on the line. Davis scoring 6 points thus far. Vince Carter with a very brief rest coming back into the lineup for the Raptors, and Glenn Rice likewise for the Knicks. Want to remind you that coming this June on TNT, the drama of Wimbledon. 2 free throws by Antonio Davis, and the lead is 7 for the Raptors.
Yeah, the Knicks need to make a little push here right now with some sound offensive flow here. Can you get the ball to your high percentage guys right now?
Oakley picking up Jackson on the switch. Camby lost it in, and Rice getting the basket. So Rice picking up where he left off in game 3, now with 9.
Yeah, the Knicks look good when they're running their half-court movement. It's when they stand still and they try to beat you one-on-one, and then they finally launch a 3, which has not been going down for them this night.
Williams against the double team, out to Childs, guarded by Houston with 7 on the shot clock. The Knicks in the penalty. Childs will take the 3 and the air ball, and Jackson does a good job of preventing any of the Raptors, particularly Davis, from saving it. And he might have run into some pointed equipment.
See, that was very dangerous by Childs. He was at least 8 feet beyond the three-point line. As soon as that clock hits 6, you've got to make your move with 6. Because if you move with 6, you're going to get a shot and you have a chance, okay? To crash that glass.
Oakley leaving the game. Jerome Williams checking back in, and here is Sprewell and Rice. Rice cannot be stopped tonight. He has 11 points, including a 3. And the Knicks trail 42-39.
Well, the high percentage shooting tonight, Houston and Rice are looking very good, very solid.
Rice is 5 for 8. Houston a perfect 4 for 4. And there is the pass into Davis. Didn't control it, and the Raptors lose it out of bounds. So the Knicks turning it over early, and Lenny Wilkins' team now not protecting the ball very well in the second quarter.
Now, Antonio Davis was fronted down in the painted area that time. But when on that pass, he could not elevate. He could not get up high, Dick, to catch that ball with 2 hands.
50 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Raptors leading by 3. They were up by 4 at the end of the first quarter.
Nice.
Allen Houston with an up and under, now 5 for 5 from the field for 12 points. Raptors lead down to 1.
He's a tough cover when he's on fire because he can give you a lot of head movement down on that baseline area.
Here's Carter, leaves it, but not a good pass for Williams.
Plenty of time.
And Williams stepping back and hitting Alvin Williams. And the Raptors by 3 with exactly 24 seconds for the Knicks.
Alvin Williams just plays within the offense. He does not force anything. He lets the game come to him. He's having a sensational season.
And the ball knocked away, and it's last touched by Allen Houston, who's claiming that Alvin Williams bumped into him. And now Houston is slow getting up.
And then Chris Childs, and then the main guy who's going to be with the basketball, Vince Carter. You know that any double teaming to help out on Carter will open up a 3.
So the final seconds of the first half. And here is Childs guarded by Ward. And here is Davis. Davis working his way inside. Rolls off the rim. And the time runs out. And there's Charles Oakley, who made a lot of those comments about Vince Carter this week. 0 for 3, 3 rebounds, scoreless in the first half. So the Knicks with the ball. Jackson with Houston, Camby, Thomas, and Sprewell. Here is Houston. Good pass to Camby, who nestles the ball in.
Now that was just a beautiful play. All by design, the ball movement to change sides of the floor, and then they ran that hard curl, knowing that Toronto is stepping out to try to trap Houston, slip Camby to the rim.
First field goal for Camby, and the Raptors with their same 5 of Childs, with Alvin Williams, Oakley, Carter, and Antonio Davis.
See, the Knicks look good, Dick, every time that they stay with the continuity. Just don't stand around and shoot up to 3s. You're having a tough night on 3s.
Raptors by 1. Knicks have led only once. That is 7-6 early in the game. 5 on the shot clock. The double team allows Childs to fire and hit for 3. That's his 3rd. And Toronto leads now by 4.
He's not going to be bashful. I tell you, he's feisty. He'll look for that shot, and he's on the move tonight. He has a lot of confidence. Ball is going in the hole.
And playing with a strained hamstring that was wrapped yesterday in practice. Jackson with 5 on the shot clock trying to penetrate, fires it up off the glass. How many times has he done that?
Yeah, and he was looking for the foul. He thought that he got wrapped on that left arm, which turned his body on the release of the shot.
2-point game. The Raptors must win or their season is over. Knicks looking to advance, and Charles Oakley scoring for the first time tonight.
Well, they need that. They need the perimeter game to open up the slicing off the dribble towards the basket. Then plus, Antonio Davis will become a bigger threat in this half if they can show the perimeter with consistency.
Sprewell fires it up over Davis and hits, so teams have not yet missed. 5 for 5 between the two of them, and the Raptor lead is again 2.
And once again, that dynamic trio of the Knicks. Sprewell hitting that shot. The 3 guys are now 16 for 22. It's amazing.
And Latrell Sprewell with his 3rd personal foul. And now they have changed it to Kurt Thomas, and it's Thomas's 3rd foul. The only player in the game with 3. Carter with a runner. Very nifty play. Got to be a great athlete to make that basket.
Yeah, that was a very hard shot. Plus, he brought the ball right back into the face of the defender.
19 for Carter. The lead is 4. Carter defending Sprewell, staying with him. 9 on the clock. Toronto playing very tight defense, but Jackson is left open, and this is the wide open 3.
Getting your looks, spot ups. If you're in the right spot up position tonight, you're going to get plenty of looks on the other side of the floor.
Alvin Williams, and that is 5 3-pointers for Toronto to only 1 for the New York Knicks. And the Raptors have matched their biggest lead of the game, 7 points. Toronto 5 of 9 from downtown.
Good call.
And a foul away from the basket, and that'll be against Alvin Williams.
Solid call that time, Dick. They were bringing Houston on its screen into the lane area. Alvin Williams just gave him a solid pop.
Toronto leading by 7. 3 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, D. Lynam, game 4. Here it's Jackson spinning his way in and hard off the glass. Rebound by Oakley.
Got an advantage.
Jackson was gambling for the steal, and Childs made him pay for it.
Yeah, Childs is having a beautiful game tonight. He's now 6 for 9 from the floor. He's making it happen, and in the open floor, he has completed now 3 for 3.
15 points for Chris Childs. 34 of the 56 Toronto points from Carter and Childs.
He sees the advantage, Dick. And that time, the defender, Allen Houston, did not level the ball off. And what you do there, on the break, you must stop the dribbler. Get him to level off and stop if the defense is going to have a chance.
Camby said it was tough watching Game 3 on television. He admitted he got stir crazy, and his sister encouraged him. He said everyone is talking about the situation, so it was good for him to get away. And Nick's hoping that he can come alive here in the 3rd quarter. Thomas going in and fouled before the shot. The 9-point lead right now is the biggest of the game for the Raptors, as Oakley is called for his 2nd.
Now, in this series, Kurt Thomas is the 2nd leading scorer for the Knicks at 16 points, shooting a high percentage, doing a great job. Tonight, he just cannot get any catches.
And how about Allen Houston with 14 points on 6 for 6 shooting?
He's just having a beautiful evening. He's showing us everything. Range, the post-up game, the fadeaway game. It's all there.
And Williams trying to force the pass to Antonio Davis, and Houston picks it off. And here is Thomas on the drive. So a rare fast break basket by the Knicks, and it's all predicated on the turnover.
Yeah, I like the timeout by Van Gundy once again. He's not going to let you get away too far on him into double figures. And then what happens? They come right back and score in the next 2 possessions.
The Raptors had scored on every possession before that turnover. They have still not missed a shot here in the third quarter. And they're now 6 for 6 as Charles Oakley hits. And Toronto now up by 7.
You like to see it. Charles is, he's had a solid year this year. 10 points, 10 rebounds. In the playoffs, in this playoff, 11 points a game. And then naturally the rebounding is always there.
Terrific shooting by both teams here in the third quarter. And Allen Houston misses his first shot of the game. And Thomas gets fouled. Kurt Thomas, and how important is he to the Knicks as a center and a power forward? And Chris Childs picking up his third foul. So Childs and Thomas each with 3 in the game.
Shooting a high percentage in the first half, 60%. There were very few offensive rebounds, so they only had 1 second chance attempt. But in the second half, you better pay attention to this guy right here and to Canby, because you do not want to fall asleep and not block them out.
Knicks are going to need some production from their front court. They haven't gotten much of it yet. Trailing by 5 points, nearly 5 minutes gone by. Alvin Williams pass off of Jackson, and the Raptors getting a bit sloppy here.
Yeah, he wasn't there. That was a back screen looking for a 3.
Allen Houston, and the basket will count and the foul. And the signal for a double foul, let's see what they call it. The basket should count for Allen Houston.
Now keep an eye on this. You're going to see a beautiful move into the paint. When he's on the move, he has the defender at such a disadvantage.
And the double foul called against Antonio Davis is third, but for the Knicks, more alarming. Kurt Thomas now with 4 fouls, and Glenn Rice has replaced him.
Now this is a good move for the Knicks. The only problem is you add scoring, but you're cutting down on your rebounding and your defense.
Davis with a wild shot looking for the foul, and Oakley grabs the offensive rebound. And
the ball did not hit the rim.
So a clock adjustment.
The shot went up, hit the backboard, the ball did not hit the rim, and they gave them a new 24-second clock. Mike Callahan was all over that. He had the whistle. You're going to see it's a strong rebound.
So they're going to adjust the clock, but a good point with the substitution of Glenn Rice into the game. And offensively, he did do the job, hitting 5 of 8 for 11 points.
All you're asking him to do is to do a solid job on the glass. Get back in there and help out. But that also puts pressure now on Houston and Jackson to get back in there and rebound. Now, in Game 3, Jackson came in with 7 defensive boards. That was a major plus, keeping Rice on the floor.
Vince Carter double team, passing out of it. 4 on the shot clock. Williams with the penetration and the missed shot. And the Knicks can come within 1. Mark Jackson.
There you go. Mark Jackson, a bulldog in this series. He's really been in all of the categories. Solid. Not spectacular, solid.
Having a terrific series. Here is Rice hitting the shot. So the Raptors, and it was Alvin Williams who tried to deny the pass, and the Knicks with 6 straight points have climbed to within 1.
Now, all you're asking the Raptors to do here is just play solid basketball. Get back to your rhythm.
And Carter spinning his way in, put through by Davis. Antonio Davis, now the 3rd Raptor to score in double figures.
Antonio Davis came open because Canby left him to go to help out on the drive. That will happen all night. That's why the opposite people for the Knicks must come down inside and help out on Antonio Davis.
10 on the shot clock. With the crowd cheering defense. Carter working against Sprewell on the isolation. Sprewell with the turnaround. And the Raptors cover the defensive glass. Under 5.5 to go in the third. Childs driving in, and they're going to call the blocking foul on Sprewell, and that'll be his second.
Yeah, that was a tough call for Sprewell. Mainly because I thought from our angle, he got there, and then he discouraged Childs from taking a shot. Now just watch to the left there. You see Sprewell, he's there. See, he was there, discouraged Childs as he crossed over. That should have been a charge. 60 to 57, the Raptors lead
in a tight game. They were up by 4 after 1 and 3 at the half. And the shot off the rim, and Davis got hit in the head. And the Knicks coming back. Sprewell in the lane, turns it over to Jerome Williams. Into the hands of Carter, trying to get control of it.
Can somebody hold on to this hot potato? Okay.
And Jackson fouls Vince Carter. And for the Knicks, that's their 3rd team foul. Each team has 3. Carter, who has scored 2 points thus far in the 3rd, has 19 in the game.
Yeah, you can see Mark Jackson put his hand on the hip, and then Carter pushed him away. Fortunately, Carter got a nice ball here, but Jackson got him first. He had him first with the hand check.
Here's Childs with under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. And the pass, and they're going to call another New York foul, and Camby is knocked to the floor, but Dick Bavetta right there with it.
Yeah, see, the defender rotated in that spot, Dick, but he was inside of the dotted line area, the restricted area. So that is an automatic block on Camby's behalf.
So Camby has 3. There's Kurt Thomas on the bench with 4 fouls, and the Knicks, big people.
Right, piling them up. Key guys,
right.
Key people.
10 on the shot clock for the Raptors, leading by 3. The win sends it to a Game 5 Friday in New York. Childs with a 2 has 17. So Carter with 19. Chris Childs coming up with a big offensive game. 5-point Raptor lead. Certainly playing with a lot more zest than they did in the Game 3 here at the Air Canada Center on Sunday. Sprewell driving to the basket. And Carter trying to defend.
Yeah, he rode him all the way.
And a foul on him will be 2nd on Vince.
Yeah, that's good. That was a solid call and a right call. And most of all, a good call. Because if Sprewell would have attempted up for a shot that time, he would not have been in good position. And it all became because Carter rode him right in.
Rice, defended by Jerome Williams.
Watch out.
Rice with the jumper. And the rebound by Antonio Davis. Alvin Williams with a skip pass attempt picked off by Rice.
Watch out for the trailer.
Houston stepping back. Jackson leaves it for Rice for 3, and he's got it. Glenn Rice hitting his 2nd 3-point basket, has 16, and again the Knicks stay into town, trailing by only a bucket.
The big 3 doing it.
Yes, they are.
They are on fire.
Well, they were 15 for 21 in the first half. That's Sprewell, Houston, and Rice, and continue, especially Glenn Rice. 3.5 to go in the 3rd. Knicks looking to finish it off tonight. And Childs missing the open shot. And the foul by Jerome Williams. And both teams, or at least the Raptors now, are in the penalty.
That's a bad foul. You're in the backcourt. He's going nowhere. It's not like a breakaway type of a situation where it would be a 2-on-1. There were plenty of defenders back in the flow. Why grab the shirt, especially Mark Jackson, a guy who shoots 80 on the line?
Saturday on NBC, round 2 of the playoff will begin with the winner of the Jazz and Mavericks series going to San Antonio to take on the Spurs. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The Knicks can tie it up with this free throw. Del Curry, who came in the waning moments of the first half, replacing Alvin Williams, who goes out with 9 points.
Knicks are just playing steady basketball this half. They're not folding. They're cut down on the turnovers. They're getting good looks at the basket.
And Mark Jackson ties the game. The Knicks have trailed all the way since early in the first quarter, tied at 62. Kings and Suns coming up, Game 4 next here on TNT.
See, Carter's shot attempts, his catches, have been cut down in this quarter.
And they've doubled him more in this 3rd quarter. This time they didn't. Sprewell defending him, and the perimeter shot rimming the basket. And the Knicks looking for their first lead since early in the first quarter. Here is Sprewell stepping back for 3. Off the back of the rim. And the Raptors get the ball.
Nothing easy offensively for Toronto.
And an offensive foul has been called And that'll go against Antonio Davis, and that will be 4 on Davis. So foul trouble for Davis of the Raptors and Kurt Thomas, who's on the bench for the Knicks. And a timeout with 2:45 remaining in the third quarter. Vince Carter with a very big first half, 7 for 14 from the field and 17 points. But so far in the third, only 2 points on 1 for 3 shooting. The Knicks have done the job on him.
Well, they've done an excellent job cutting down his catches, and that's the key. He's not even involved on the catch. A lot of people say, well, maybe they're trapped. No, they're not trapping him. They just got to be able to get him the ball.
And here is Allen Houston. Rebound by Childs.
The big three are now 20 for 31. Sprewell, Houston, and Rice have 44 of the 62 points.
And that's the same scenario they used in the last game when Camby wasn't there. They relied on those 3 and they came through. Camby has not been that effective tonight, and again they're relying on that trio and they're coming through.
See, what we've got now in this third quarter, Dick, is Knicks basketball. No fast breaks, no second shot attempts for Toronto. In the first half, they dominated that stat. Fast break, second shots, 15-2. That keeps you ahead for the entire half. Well, if you take that away from them, now you're putting the pressure on their half-court game. And we are seeing that it is getting them low percentage looks.
Jerome Williams misses the shot, and Marcus Camby, picking up his 4th foul, goes out of the game, replaced by Othello Harrington. A very key pickup from Vancouver for the New York Knicks. Jeff Van Gundy says he's always ready, very serious, a lot to like about Harrington.
Now the perimeter people must help out the Knicks tonight now in the rest of this quarter. The last 2 minutes, try to get back in there because the Knicks are very small with Rice and Harrington and Houston as their primary guys up front.
Raptors by 1, under 2 minutes to go in the third. Here's Sprewell. Defended by Carter, working his way in. Off the rim, Davis getting the rebound. And Childs finding Del Curry, dangerous three-point shooter. And Childs directing traffic, looking for Carter. The double on Carter with Rice and Sprewell. Knicks rotating well with 9 on the shot clock.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And offensive foul. Childs called for the offensive foul.
Yeah.
His 4th.
Jackson anticipated that move perfectly. They should have put the ball right into the post. Instead, Childs hesitates, looks at the post because he wanted the ball, the shot himself. And instead of putting it in, give Jackson a lot of credit. Jumped right to the spot and took the charge.
And the Knicks looking to take the lead, a lead they haven't had since early in the first quarter. Here is Rice. And Childs the rebound. So the Knicks cannot wrest the lead away from the Toronto Raptors with 1:10 remaining. Raptors turning it over 5 times here in the third quarter has hurt their cause. And the 3 by Del Curry. Automatic for Del Curry for so many years.
Well, he's a three-point specialist. Throughout his entire career, he's in the top 10 in attempts and makes and three-point shooting percentage.
In his 15th year, mostly with Charlotte in the NBA, and the Raptors leading by 4, 13 on the shot clock for the Knicks. And a Toronto foul, and it's Chris Childs picking up number 5. So Childs, who has played a major role tonight with 17 points, has to go out of the game and really upset with his 5th foul.
You see, they gambled. They gambled that he would not pick up the chief foul rather than waiting and put him back in with 9 or 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And right now, you know, he can be upset all he wants. That was just a foolish foul because he definitely grabbed Houston coming off of that screen.
And you're a veteran, you're expected to use better judgment under those circumstances, but there he is on the bench with 5. Childs, who has played so well tonight, with 17 despite the hamstring problems, and replaced by Alvin Williams. Houston hits both free throws. The Knicks climbed to within 2.
He's perfect in this series. He came in tonight 12 for 12 from the line, and he's just on fire. He's 4 for 4. So how about 16 for 16 for Houston on the line?
Pretty close to perfect, QB. 10 on the shot clock.
What, did he touch the rim on a few of them or what?
Carter, foul. So Vince Carter, who has been nullified by the Knicks defensively here in this third quarter, will go to the line and shoot 2. Mark Jackson on the personal.
The only time guys like Vince Carter get nullified, when you think about it a second, a guy as good an athlete as he is you're not running enough movement for him. Because in the first half, he was caught on the move all the time, beating the Knicks before they could get the double team, and something good was happening. And if you remember going back to that first half, 5 of his 8 field goals were below the foul line, all on the move. But now in this half, very little movement. Consequently, he's standing around. Sprewell can overplay him, and he can't get the catch.
Got the free throws. The lead is 4 with 34.2. 21 points for Carter. And here is Mark Jackson penetrating. Here's Sprewell with the shot over Davis. Davis flying in his face, got the job done. Jerome Williams got the rebound. And the foul is called against Jackson. That'll be his 3rd. Harrington is arguing with Dick Bavetta. And now it's Harrington who committed the foul. That's why he's arguing with Bavetta. And that's his 3rd. So Carter is on the line, hit 2 free throws a moment ago, and the former Georgetown player and Houston Rocket and Grizzly still arguing his case.
From now to the end of this game, the premium is going to be on foul shooting. It's going to be big. The Knicks, we know, #1 in the league, shoot over 80% and have been doing it in this series. The Raptors are a 73-74% foul shooting team. They've got to make them to stay close here.
Knicks have tied it up, and now the Raptors have opened up a 6-point lead as the Knicks play for the last shot of the third quarter. Allen Houston having a torrid game from the field. Alvin Williams staying with him. Houston on the runner, off the rim. Time running out, and that will do it. And the Toronto Raptors turning it over early in the third. The Knicks making a run, and then the Raptors settle down. Whatever you want to say, the Raptors are leading by 6 early here in the fourth quarter. There is Oak on the bench. Jerome Williams picking up his 3rd foul in the opening minute of this fourth quarter. The Knicks with Jackson, Sprewell, Thomas. Sprewell misses the layup. Thomas is there, and Williams comes down with it. Rice also in there for New York.
That was a great block by Vince Carter. Knocked it off the board.
Carter.
Whoa! Look out! Look out!
Vince Carter now with 26 points. That was his 2nd 3-point basket. And he's doing it at both ends tonight. Toronto 7 of 12 from 3-point territory. And the offensive foul will be called against Allen Houston, and Jeff Van Gundy's going to his bench.
Yeah, at that time, there was a screen for Allen Houston on the baseline. Jerome Williams just jumped out and surprised Houston, and he knocked him to the floor. That was a good call by the referee.
And Mark Jackson will sit down. Charlie Ward replaces him. The Knicks have tied the game in the waning moments of the third quarter at 62, but the Raptors since then have outscored the Knicks 11-2 and have matched their biggest lead. And the crowd very much into this as the Raptors looking to win and go to a 5th game. Alvin Williams with a 2, and Toronto has opened up their biggest lead, and the Knicks want to talk it over. Well, how often can you go to the well? They did it on Sunday, and again relying on those 3 scorers, Sprewell, Houston, and Rice in this game. Thomas, by the way, with 4 fouls, is in the lineup now, and they're going to, no foul is called. Thomas, too strong off the glass, and Jerome Williams with the rebound.
And you got to allow a player to come down. And that time I thought that I'm happy that the referee made that a non-call. A lot of guys will call a travel in that situation.
Curry nowhere to go with it and nearly picked off by Ward and Alvin Williams firing the shot.
Knicks need some things in the open floor, getting up and getting some easy baskets.
Biggest lead of the game for the Raptors is 11 with 2 minutes elapsed here in the fourth quarter. Charlie Ward finding Rice and Williams staying with him, and a block by Antonio Davis on Kurt Thomas.
In the last 2 minutes, 2 key blocks, one by Vince Carter and one by Antonio Davis.
And Curry on the pick and roll finds Davis with the extra pass and a hard foul by Ward on Jerome Williams.
Good movement, excellent move off the lane, on the opposite side of the lane by Jerome Williams. Because once they make this screen and roll move, the movement, see, once he comes off of this screen right here, you're going to see movement on the baseline as the defender steps up. Now just keep an eye on it. Watch, see the defender come up, he loses his man, and then what you have is a nice unselfish pass.
Jerome Williams really has ignited things. Came over in a trade from the Denver Nuggets on January 12th. Marcus Camby is coming into the game for the Knicks. He has 4 fouls, as Hubie mentioned, along with Kurt Thomas. Davis for the Raptors also with 4.
Well, an interesting facet is the fact that Jerome Williams did not even play in Game 1. And he's played a ton of minutes in Games 2, 3, and 4.
1 free throw, and Toronto leading by 12. Pretty well defended by Williams. They go into Rice with the turnaround at the baseline. Pulls off, and the follow by Thomas, and he draws the foul.
The Knicks are free as they come across the baseline in the painted area. They do not even have to come across the lane. If the passer will just get them the ball early, they're within 3 to 4 feet of the rim.
Now Antonio Davis arguing with Dick Pivetta. He has picked up his 5th personal foul. So this is a critical foul. And let's see how Lenny Wilkins wants to play it. With 9:27 remaining in the fourth. Davis with 10 points. And the top big man for the Raptors will go out of the game with 5, replaced by Charles Oakley.
Another player who we have not seen tonight, Keon Clark. Look at that. He's been the 6th leading scorer for them. A kiss on the head by Antonio Davis on Dick Pivetta.
Thomas with 1 free throw, and the lead is 11 for the Raptors. You mentioned Keon Clark, pretty athletic player off the bench.
Well, he's been their 5th leading scorer, getting to the foul line 5 times a game, being a force on the offensive glass.
Del Curry firing over Rice, misses the 3. Ward with the rebound, the pass to Rice, and good hustle down court by Curry on the defensive end. 3 minutes gone by, 4th quarter. Knicks trail by 11. Rice. And Rice starting to miss a few now, and the rebound taken, and a loose ball foul called against the Knicks, who have not made a basket in the last 7 minutes. And now Kurt Thomas picking up his 5th personal foul. It's getting interesting.
Yeah, it's just been a nightmare half for the Knicks. Instead of a ton of turnovers like they had in the first half, the problem is the ton of fouls in the second half, taking out their key frontline guys.
Meanwhile, Keon Clark, who you were just talking about, comes into the game for the Raptors, who now have a Clark with Oakley, Jerome Williams, Carter, and Williams. So a small team out there for Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, but Keon Clark is an accelerator, a guy who elevates, a shot blocker, high-energy player.
Sprewell got a piece of that shot attempt by Carter. Williams wide open.
Keon Clark got up a little high that time, Dick. He just cleared the top, the rooftops of that entire pack of people.
And the Toronto Raptors have stretched their lead to 13. And ever since the Knicks came back to tie it up at 62, it's been all Toronto to the tune of 16-3 as the Knicks call a timeout.
come out of this timeout now. Make a field goal. We have seen them so many times during the course of the season. 10 times in the fourth quarter, down 10 or more points, come back and win because they play in spurts. But they need a couple of field goals here quick.
And they've got foul trouble with Thomas with 5. Houston into the game for the Knicks. He has had a hot hand tonight with 18 points. Knocked away by Oakley. Plenty of time for the Knicks on the shot clock. Sprewell will fire a 3 and hits.
There you go.
And the Knicks finding the way to get back at it. 15 now for Sprewell.
Yeah, now the key. You've got to take care of that defensive board. One shot attempt. Every rebound, look to go. Look to go. Try to get something easy in the open floor.
There's Jerome Williams, cat and mouse with Allen Houston. Basket good and a foul, and he has made the difference off the bench tonight for the Raptors.
Yeah, bad foul by Houston. If you're going to foul a guy, foul him across the arms. Do not allow him to get the layup. Don't push him in the lower back because the referee is right there, and he sees it. It's a three-point play. Keep an eye on him. Watch Houston's hand. See? Pushed him right on the hip. Both hands.
Jerome Williams looking to give the Raptors a 13-point lead with under 8 minutes to go, and he does. Toronto took 3 out of 4 in the regular season from the Knicks. The Knicks winning the opening game in New York. Toronto taking game 2 at Madison Square Garden, and then without Marcus Camby sitting home, the Knicks responded with one of their best games of the year Sunday, and now looking to close it out, and they have their hands full. Sprewell in traffic. Good move, and the basket counts and a foul.
Coaching staff all over Don Vaden right now looking for the travel. But remember, when you get down in a situation like that, as long as you do not pick up your pivot foot and when you're making all the moves, then you can pick up your pivot foot as long as you repass or shoot the basketball. And I thought that's what happened.
Sprewell missing the free throw. He has still scored the last 5 big points, and the lead is 11. Plenty of time remaining, especially for a Knicks team, as you said, coming back so often, an experienced playoff team. Carter out to Alvin Williams. Great pass to Jerome Williams, and Carter follows with the basket and the foul, doing it all tonight.
See, once again, their strength on the offensive boards hurts the Knicks. When they look at this film, the video, tomorrow in the off day, they're going to cringe because the second shot chance points have really hurt during the course of this ball game.
And they have an edge of over 20 offensive rebounds over the New York Knicks, which is staggering. 14-point lead, largest of the game for the Raptors. Nearly 5 minutes gone by. Carter with 29 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's done it on the defensive end as well. Steal on the pass right into the hands of Oakley.
Yeah, he was trying to throw the ball at Camby. Oakley was stationary right in front of the basket in the lane.
And Carter and Sprewell, the duel out at the point. And here is Williams to change direction. And Williams now with 15 points, and the Knicks call another timeout as the Raptors threatening to break this one open nearly midway through the fourth. And you got to remember the Raptors had some adversity when Chris Childs went to the bench with 5 personal fouls, but Alvin Williams has picked up the slack. So is Jerome Williams, and Carter with 29 leads everybody.
Well, they're accustomed to Alvin Williams leading him as their point guard. The only time that they've really played Childs a lot in the point has been in this playoff.
Ward losing the ball.
And playing Childs and Williams together, which has given them better defense throughout the series. Their coaching staff feels guard on guard.
Both teams shooting 49%. And there is Vince Carter with a fall away, and Camby rebounds for the Knicks. Camby with 4 points and 4 personal fouls. He has 4 rebounds as well in his return to action after staying home Sunday in Game 3. Glenn Rice coming up empty from 3.
In this stretch, Dick, the movement is not getting the Knicks 3 key guys, Sprewell, Houston, or Rice, a good look at the basket. It's not fooling the Toronto defense. They're rotating. They're right in their face on the release of the shot.
Giles back in the game. 5 fouls in all, but Lenny Wilkins can afford it with a 16-point lead. Charles Oakley too long for the 3, and the foul call is Carter knocking down Mark Jackson, and that'll be 4 on Vince Carter, who has come up big tonight for the Raptors with 29 and a terrific defensive effort as well.
At the top of the show, we said that Vince Carter naturally was struggling with a shot, no doubt about it, but the rest of his game has been solid. The rebounding at 8 a game for the series, the assists, the steals, the block shots. He's worked very hard on Sprewell, but tonight he's put the entire package together here.
10 on the clock. Thomas, defended by Oakley, out to Mark Jackson. He hits the 3. Mark Jackson, and the Knicks trail by 13.
Still have time, but you must negate some of this shooting. The percentages, I see they're wide open.
Carter coming up empty on the 3, and the Knicks trying to stage a run here with 4:45 remaining in the 4th quarter. Allen Houston for 2. Houston has not made a basket in the last 14 minutes, and Glenn Rice hasn't scored in the last 10 and a half, so that's 2 out of their 3 scores. Unable to do it.
Well, that's why we say the movement is not freeing the man up, whether on the initial move or he's not getting a good area where he can take you one-on-one without help.
Raptors leading 86-73. Their highest point total was 94 in their victory in Game 2 in New York, and they're going to call Alvin Williams with the hold.
Now that play for Houston, that staggered screen coming across the circle area to catch the ball on the right wing. And, you know, they used that all year. That's the first time they've run him in that route this evening.
Allen Houston on the line, and the Raptors are in the penalty. Makes the 2, and it's 86-75 with 4:20 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Knicks with time down by 11. Antonio Davis playing with 5 fouls, and Thomas knocks it away. Last touch by Thomas.
Very quiet night for Antonio Davis tonight. He's not been able to get it going, but if you remember, go back to when he was pulled down to the floor. No doubt about it, he's smarting from that injury.
9 on the clock. Jackson staying with Alvin Williams. Carter setting a screen on the outside. Williams from the corner. And Antonio Davis times the offensive rebound. A new clock for Toronto.
Back it out.
Under 4 minutes now.
There you go. Run some time. Get in your set.
It's Carter working his way in. Fouled. So Carter has a chance to go over the 30 mark here. And will go to the line. That was a good sequence because Toronto used up a lot of time.
Marcus Camby has missed so many days of practice. Never mind the game. We question at the top his stamina. You could see on that last rebound, he never even attempted to jump. He was standing right next to Antonio Davis. Antonio Davis gets it, and now it cost them another 2 points.
And you talk about Carter going strong to the basket. This will be his 10th free throw attempt now as Camby going out of the game. Sprewell, Houston, Jackson, Rice, and Kurt Thomas for the Knicks. And Carter now with 31 points. And the Raptors leading by 13. So the Knicks have not made up any of the margin. And time has run off the clock. Double on Houston. Sprewell looking up at the clock. And the foul, and Carter committing the foul. That'll be 5 on Carter, and it'll be 3 shots at the line as Sprewell was beyond the arc. So talk about careless fouls. There was one.
Maybe because Sprewell was really deep behind the line that time, Dick. That would have been a very difficult shot for him.
He can bring the Knicks to within 10 if he makes all three.
Still not impossible. 3:23 to go. Not impossible, especially when you have the type of shooters of Rice, Houston, and Sprewell.
Sprewell now with 19 points and a chance to make it 20. And he had a series high in the last game here Sunday with 20 points.
Big question now. Can the Knicks force the turnover or then also hold Toronto to one shot attempt?
It is a 10-point lead. The Knicks have made up 6 points in a hurry with still time to go, and it's up to the Knicks defense here. As Alvin Williams and the block by Mark Jackson, both teams in the penalty, and Williams will go to the line.
And now you're just hoping if you're going for the quick foul in that situation, Mark Jackson definitely fouled quickly. You're hoping here now that they'll make 1 out of 2.
Williams, who was the scoring hero in game number 2, now with 16 points. Toronto doing the job from the free throw line tonight. They have hit 16 of 20 for 80%. And 17 for 21, and the lead is 12.
Alvin Williams has been very solid here tonight offensively. Solid.
And approaching the 3-minute mark of the game, and they're going to call the foul against Alvin Williams. So 4 on Williams. If you're looking at the players in foul trouble, the Raptors have Carter and Davis each with 5, and Kurt Thomas has 5 for the Knicks.
The referees are not allowing any grabbing tonight if you are playing the man that the screen is being set for. If you put a hand on him or you bump him in any way, the foul is being called. Forget about the screen. They are not allowing you to bump this guy before the screen is set.
Houston 8 for 8 from the line and has 22 points on a night that he has 22. Sprewell 20, Rice 16. Yet the Knicks trailing by 10, and a bad turnover by the Raptors as Childs threw it away.
See, you're right about that, Dick. But once again, it comes back to those second chance points. That's what has hurt them all night long.
They're going to inbound the ball again, and the clock did not run.
Main thing for the Knicks now, high percentage shots. If it's not there, take it strong to the basket, because we told you, out on the floor right now, Houston, Sprewell, Rice, Mark Jackson, Thomas, all 5 guys shoot 80% on the foul line.
And there is Houston, and Jackson loses it. He was looking to throw before he caught it.
Yes, indeed. You're absolutely right.
And that is the 18th Knick turnover. That's double the number from Sunday's game 3.
When you look at Sacramento, they have so much scoring power. They're one of the 4 teams over 100 points. Their defense is so much better, and we know that Phoenix, they need a monster game. Kidd has got to have a high percentage game, and then in the transition, can Gugliotta, Robinson, and Marion have high percentage shooting nights.
Knicks win the ball in what is a 4-possession game with under 2.5 minutes to go. The Knicks have 1 full timeout left. And going for the loose ball, and Sprewell coming into our table, helping with the monitor. Thank you, Sprewell. We're going to put him on the crew that Marty Aronoff, our statistician, ought to get combat pay after this.
There we go. And I saw you actually.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, a little touch foul.
Fending Sprewell off.
A little touch foul. Little touch foul. Well, you okay, Marty? He lives in Washington. He roots for the Wizards, so he has to be okay. He's
big possession right now for the Knicks. Knicks need a score.
Down by 10 with 2:20 to go. 11 on the shot clock. Here is Houston pulling it up for one and hitting.
Yes.
And the Knicks down by 8. So the Raptors trying to hang in there, and Houston tonight with 24.
They're using, they call that shadow. They're using Oakley's man, Rice, as the trapper at half court. Run some time.
10 on the shot clock. Here is Davis with 2 minutes to go, and the ball knocked away, last touch by Thomas, and 7 seconds for the Raptors to get a shot off, and they're going to talk it over before they do. The Toronto Raptors now with 2 timeouts plus a 20. Raptors lost a timeout. It was under the 2-minute mark. They have 1 full and a 20. Toronto with 1 timeout left, and the Knicks still lurk in the building, Hubie. Very much so.
They're never out of it because of their perimeter, high percentage shooting with the key guys on the floor. The big thing is, though, is right now you only have 7 seconds. You want to come out of here with a quick hitter. I want Carter with the basketball right now, and hopefully he's going to take it to the hole. You do not want to miss a jump shot long and then give the Knicks something in transition.
31 for Carter, and that ties his playoff career high. Coming up strong and answering a lot of the doubters in this game 4. And Toronto
don't settle.
Trying to force a deciding game. Carter off balance. Not the best shot you want there. And the Knicks still alive. Down by 8. 1:45 to go. Sprewell for 3. And the rebound taken down by Davis. Knicks going for the big score early on that clock.
I'm kind of surprised at that. You'd like to see, because mainly he wasn't exactly wide open.
Kings Suns coming up next. Childs for 3. Let me do it.
Yes, indeed.
Chris Childs with his 4th three-pointer of the game, and a timeout called by the Knicks as the Raptors leading by 11, and the ex-Knick getting it done here in the pivotal do-or-die game. And Toronto very close to sending this series into a deciding 5th game.
Yeah, you just like this. Childs has not hesitated on any three-point attempt tonight. He has shot a very high percentage, and I'm happy for him because, as you know, he's been feisty. He's yaps a little bit, and he's been a little controversial in the paper. But tonight he has stepped up not only with the points, but the 4 for 5 in three-point shooting.
And the Knicks are out of timeouts, Ernie, and it may not be over for the Toronto Raptors, who coming into this game are averaging over 89 points a game. The Knicks at 86 during the regular year. Jackson will inbound, and the Raptors leading by 11. Knicks have no timeouts remaining. Jackson has Rice, Sprewell, Thomas, and Houston. Williams defending against Houston. Into the corner to Sprewell with the runner from the baseline. Thomas fouled on the rebound attempt, and he'll go to the line.
When the score was 8 and he came down in transition, I was really surprised that Sprewell forced that 3. Mainly because you're only down 8. And when you're moving like that, if you attack the rim where you look for the trailer and you take it to the basket, you got a chance possibly of a layup or getting fouled. Now you have an opportunity to get down to 6.
And the Knicks can get it under double digits. And as I say the words and they roll off by Tom, Thomas misses the free throw. Sacramento and Phoenix next on TNT.
Been good for the home team. Dallas last night, Toronto tonight, and maybe in the cards for Phoenix.
And Indiana, let's not forget them too, and they're battling the 76ers. 1 free throw, and it's 93-83. Here is Williams in no hurry as we have 1:10 to go in the 4th and 14 on the shot clock.
And just hold it out and milk the clock.
Williams for three. And we're going to have a loose ball foul called against the Knicks. And Jackson and Carter hit the floor simultaneously. And with 1:02 to go, Jackson with a personal.
When you have that small unit like the Knicks have out there right now, naturally there's a ton of pressure on everyone. Along with Rice and the three perimeter guys, they all got to get back in there and rebound. And you can see Mark Jackson was right in the middle of the pack.
But at the start of this game, all eyes and the pressure and the challenge issued by Charles Oakley and the other Raptors on Vince Carter with a career playoff high 32 points and answering a lot of critics in resounding fashion. Sprewell, goaltending is called against Carter, and Sprewell getting credit for the basket with under a minute remaining. And the Knicks trailing by 9.
Now the Knicks are in a 1-2-1-1 trap. They were in it on the previous possession. They didn't get anything, but keep an eye here. Good timeout. The passing lanes were all cut off there. Oh, they called a foul.
Wow. Williams is fouled by Allen Houston.
Oh, boy.
With 53 seconds remaining. And the Raptors up by 9 points. Three-point shooting key tonight as Toronto 8 of 17. 4 off the stroke of Chris Childs. And Williams with the free throw can make it an 11-point lead as the Knicks' hopes dwindling of ending the series and getting a little bit of a breather before they start the next round. That is if they survive. And they're going to have their hands full against a Raptor team that already has the confidence of knowing they beat the Knicks in New York. Here is Allen Houston hitting the three. And it's 95-88. So it's a 7-point game, 3-possession game, and the Knicks forced to foul.
Toronto still has one full. Big thing right now is if you don't make the steal, are you going to foul? It'd be interesting to see what they... Oh, deflection almost.
Davis gets it, and now into the hands of Alvin Williams. And
spread him out.
Chris Childs across the line. And in no hurry as... and now the foul is called. And you said at halftime that you thought this game would come down to the free throw shooting at the end.
Yeah, and they're doing a very nice job. And also we realized that the reason why the Knicks caught them before the end of that third quarter, it basically was because Carter was not involved. Then all of a sudden they go on that 13-2 spurt. Carter was involved on almost every possession and something good happened. Now in this quarter, everyone else is stepping up and helping out.
Carter with a playoff high 32 points. Childs missing the first free throw. And makes it a 3-possession game now.
Think of their perimeter people tonight. Carter, Childs, and Alvin Williams.
Houston getting it across the line with under a half a minute to go. And here is Rice fouled and hitting. And Rice hitting the three. No foul on the play, but the three-point basket. And now the Knicks committing the foul to stop the clock with 20.8. And the lead cut to 5. And the Raptors have to make their free throw. Now Carter missed one here, and we saw Childs miss one on the previous time down the floor.
Now remember, New York, no timeouts remaining.
Missed them both at it.
Look at that.
And now Sprewell will foul Childs, and so the Knicks have the break in their hands to get it closer because Childs made 1 out of 2 and Carter missed both free throws, but the tap out into the hands of Childs, and he'll go to the line with 2.
In the NBA, you're only allowed to put 3 guys on the line. 3 Knicks are on the line. The other 2 guys are out at the top of the circle. The miss came off the front, and the ball was knocked all the way back, and not one blue shirt was near that ball.
Childs looking for his 23rd point of the game with 16.5 on the clock. The Knicks have no timeouts remaining. And Childs would give the Raptors an 8-point lead if he connects here. Big night tonight for the former Knick. And it's 98-91. Knicks have to go for 3. Sprewell driving in and scores the basket. And it's a 5-point game as Childs is fouled by Sprewell with 8.6 to go. And believe me, this game is not as close as the final score will be. The Raptors are a lot more convincing than the final numbers, which will be close. Go back to when the game was tied at 62, and then the Raptors with a tremendous string, outscoring the Knicks 24-8 to virtually put the game away. And for the Toronto Raptors, they have responded throughout the season when they have been in trouble. You remember the game in Philadelphia, Antonio Davis was hurt. They were down by 20. They came back and had a big victory. So this team has proven resilient this year. 100-93, Sprewell for three, and the rebound by Carter, and that'll do it. And the Raptors have won and forced a deciding 5th game at Madison Square Garden in New York Friday night. And the final score, the Raptors 100 and the New York Knicks 93. And it comes down to one game, and Vince Carter delivering big time with a career and playoff high 32 points.
Responding to Charles Oakley's criticisms, Vince Carter stepped up and played like a superstar. He would play all but 1 minute and lead the Raptors with 32 points. Chris Childs was a standout as well, scoring a career playoff high 25 points, including 4 3-pointers and 3 steals, as the Raptors forced a 5th and deciding game in the series. The Raptors won 193 despite 70 points from the Knicks' big 3 guards, Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, and Glenn Rice. Jerome Williams provided some spark off the bench for the Raptors, giving them 8 points and 5 rebounds, as Oakley struggled with his shot and Antonio Davis experienced foul trouble. For the first time, the Raptors were 1 game away from advancing to the conference semifinals.